There's more on the ABC News app and on ABC iView. I'm Ros Childs. Afternoon briefing with Patricia Karvelas is up next on the ABC News channel. From us, it's goodbye and thank you for your company.
The government releases figures to argue Australians would be financially worse off under a Dutton government. Will inflation figures out this week be enough for an interest rate cut? I'm Patricia Karvelas, live from the lands of the Wurundjeri people in Melbourne. Welcome to Afternoon Briefing. Colombia has caved to demands from US President Donald Trump, accepting flights of deported migrants. It comes hours after the president threatens steep tariffs on the South American nation for turning away military planes containing migrants. It's only been a week of the Trump presidency, but are we already seeing more than just bluster? US expert Bruce Wolpe joins us later this hour. Israel has confirmed it will allow Palestinians back into northern Gaza after Hamas agreed to release 3 more hostages this week. We'll bring you live pictures of that as soon as it happens. Attorney General Mark Dreyfus says politics needs to be taken out of anti-Semitism while attending the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz concentration camp with the Foreign Minister Penny Wong. But is it already too late to depoliticise the issue in Australia? Employment Minister Murray Watt and Shadow Finance Minister Jane Hume go head-to-head this hour. And we can take you live now to pictures coming in from the Gaza border, where displaced residents are about to return to the north. Gazans were due to be returned as part of Saturday's hostage and prisoner exchange, but Israel put that on hold, saying it wanted civilian Abel Yehud included in the release. She will now be released, along with 2 other hostages before Friday, according to mediators in Qatar. Later today in Perth, Peter Dutton will launch the campaign to regain the lost seat of Curtin. The candidate there is a former Uber exec, Tom White, who they hope can win the seat from the Teal independent, Kate Chaney. The Liberal Party sees this as one of the Teal seats that it must win if it wants to form government. Now, stay with us here on Afternoon Briefing on the ABC News channel. In a moment, we'll unveil one of our regular new political panels for 2025. Well, both leaders were in the West today, in Western Australia, visiting the Holocaust Institute of WA as the world marks the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz concentration camp. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese stood up in WA this morning and responded to a comment made by the Deputy Liberal leader, Susan Lee, comparing the First Fleet to Elon Musk's ambition to colonise Mars. To discuss this and more, let's bring in my regular Monday political panel, Shadow Finance Minister Jane Hume in the studio with me and Employment Minister Murray Watt live from Brisbane. Welcome to both of you.
G'day PK, g'day Jane.
Good
Congrats on the new program.
I'm very lucky to have people as senior as you both and senators. I love senators, as you both know. I want to start with the criticism that the Prime Minister has levelled at Susan Lee. She's actually responded this afternoon saying that it was a symptom of the Prime Minister's activist days that he didn't get this. Murray Watt, I'll begin with you. She obviously thinks it's a fair analogy. What's wrong with it? Jane Hume, you will be our regular Monday panel. It's so excellent to get you together and look over the big issues of the day. Thank you so much.
Thanks, PK. Thanks, Jane.
PK.
And here are some of our top stories this half hour. Israel has opened the border for tens of thousands of Palestinians travelling on foot to return home to the northern Gaza Strip. Qatar has announced that an agreement has been reached to release an Israeli civilian hostage and allow Palestinians to return to northern Gaza, easing the first major crisis of the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has pledged $6.4 million to Holocaust education in Australia after a spate of anti-Semitic attacks. The money will build a national Holocaust education centre in Canberra and help fund an upgrade of the Holocaust Institute in Perth. Meanwhile, opposition leader Peter Dutton has announced that if elected, the coalition will pledge $2 million to the Holocaust Institute of WA. The White House says Colombia has agreed to take deported migrants from the US after President Trump threatened steep tariffs on imports and other sanctions to the country. Colombia had previously refused to let American military jets carrying deported migrants from landing in the country, which prompted the threat of tariffs. US President Donald Trump has ordered emergency tariffs and a travel ban on Colombian officials after the nation rejected 2 military repatriation flights from America. Now, the South American nation's president says it won't accept flights with deported migrants from the US until migrants were treated with dignity. And then there was an about-face from Colombia that came in this afternoon, as reported from the White House. To explore this and where the Trump presidency is at after its first week, Afternoon Briefing regular United States Centre Senior Resident Fellow and former Democrat advisor Bruce Wolpe joins us live from Paris. Bruce, welcome.
Hey, thank you, PK. Congratulations to you on Afternoon Briefing and all best. Great that you're in the chair.
I think a pretty unpredictable time. Thank you so much.
You got that right. See you, PK. Thank you so much.
Well, as we know, 2025 is a federal election year and the campaign really has begun in all but name. That's how it feels. The coalition launched a new campaign ad today focused on opposition leader Peter Dutton trying to soften his image. Take a listen. So that's just a snippet of that campaign ad that's been shared around the country and has been released by the Liberal Party. Clearly, they are very much in election mode. To look into the political crystal ball for 2025, let's bring in a panel of political historians and experts, people who have been in the game. Nick Dyrenforth is the Executive Director of the John Curtin Research Centre and a Labor historian. Welcome. And Georgina Downer is the CEO of the Robert Menzies Institute, a former candidate as well. Georgina, welcome.
Great to be here.
It's great to have you as a regular panel talking about all things politics. Let's start on the news poll. A majority of voters for the first time expect the coalition to win the next election. I imagine you read that poll and were rather concerned about the trend that we're seeing. I am very happy to have you both, especially with me on the panel, and you will be regulars on the show. Thank you so much. Going to have a lot to talk about, OK? So park it there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that's Afternoon Briefing for today. Thank you for joining us for our first show back for 2025. We'll be joining you every day at 4 p.m. on the ABC News channel. We're on iView as well. See you later.
What I'm about to tell you, you wouldn't